Hello everyone. As you can see, this is not a tutorial video about making an RTS game. I wanted to try something different once in a while as to not hold back the rate of the video uploads in the channel, and to also experiment and play around with Unity. Now, recently, Sebastian uploaded a video where he created a generator which generates a game idea. And this right here is the generator. All you have to do is click the generate button and it will create an idea for you to use as a basis for your game. I wanted to try this out, but some of the ideas wasn't good enough for me, and so I repeatedly asked the generator to generate a good enough idea for me to work on. And after a long time reading and generating, I found this. After tinkering about the idea, I then opened up Unity. Now, I've played a lot of split screen games in the past, but I didn't know how to make one and how it will affect the game. All I know is that it's fun and it can be played by 2 to 4 players in just one console or even a computer. This is what we call a couch co-op game. At this point, I'm testing out the camera and the canvas for me to work on. I also imported the Text Mesh Pro asset and, well, yeah, my workstation is kinda slow, that's why it took too long to import the package. And so, I continued working on my initial layout for the text and the other designs. So after tweaking and testing some stuff in Unity, I then decided to create the UI of the game. And since I'm not good with designing and stuff, I decided to do pixel art. This was easier for me since I'm only using 3 colors instead of making a bunch of gradients and all. It's also because I wanted to let the players feel that nostalgic feeling when playing classic games, and bring back the joyful memories of playing with your friends while sitting around the couch or even on the floor. I started off with creating a rectangle with smooth corners and added lightings and shadows for it by changing from a lighter color or a darker color. I created 2 designs, one for the player 1 and the other for, well, you guessed it, the player 2. I thought of making it look like a calculator and just go on with it. Also, I didn't utilize Unity's sprite editor since I'm already feeling a bit sleepy and the time was already late. So the end result was a lot of sprites file on my project. After this, I then started tweaking the anchor points and the layout of the UI. I didn't know how I would implement the sandbox and the text adventure game genre since it's both different and it's really challenging since I was only planning to finish this in one sitting. So I ended up with creating a typing game and added a split screen feature. Since my main theme for the UI is based from a calculator, I then decided to create a keypad looking keyboard to match the theme of the designs. Get it? Keypad and keyboard. It doesn't make any sense. Anyways, I also went out to create the cursor controller, but it ended up looking bad. Well, you know what they say, if it works, don't touch it. I then started to tweak the positions of the letters in the keyboard, but since laziness and tiredness got into me first, I changed the final design of it into a 2-row by 13 column keyboard, and then I placed all of the letters or game objects in an array which will be used to check the position of the player. This practice is not really good and it's not really recommended, but hey, it still works. I also created the movement for the cursor of each player, which is really bland and a big eyesore when looking at the code. But it still works like a charm and delivers the functions that I wanted. I tested it out to make sure that it's adding up the correct letters and to make sure that it doesn't have any bugs or errors. All in all, the basic functions are working great and the things that I want the game to do is properly implemented. And then after doing some final editing and reworks, I then continued on to creating the other main parts of the game. After finishing the functions for the keyboard, I then started working on the word generator. There are a lot of ways to generate a word for a game, but I ended up with using an array of strings for the list of available words, and then I created a list to dump all the used words in it so that it won't be reused by the generator. This isn't the best way to do it since I can just find a database filled with the English dictionary and just get a random value from it. But I was already tired and I didn't want to add more work on creating the generator. I then created a function for checking the letters in the word if it is correct or not. If it is incorrect, the letter will turn red, and if it is correct, it will turn green. This needed some trials and error since I'm directly changing the color gradient of each characters in a text mesh. And then for the last part of the development, I then prepared the script to pass damages and to dispose the opponent's word when a player has finished building up the word. And so I then duplicated the UI of the first player and pasted it into the other view to make it look somehow like a split screen game. Then I created a global handler for all the variables that the scripts need to reference to. So, before I rest and conclude this development, I did a sweep for bugs and errors, and then it was finally time to stretch out and enjoy this achievement. I created a build of the game and asked my other classmates to test it out. And overall, I can see that the game was pretty fun and really competitive. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in our next development.